Hello and welcome to the Black Empowerment 365 show. I am one of your hosts, Kente, all the way live from Detroit, Michigan this week. I am here with my wonderful and brand new hairdo having co-host, Kiana. How are you doing, Kiana?
I am wonderful. I am here in Charlotte. It's rainy, but it is still lovely. Gotta love Charlotte. So, how are you doing, Kente?
I'm doing great. As you guys know, I've been on vacation for a while, and I've been mainly in Chicago. Today I'm in Detroit, but I'm going to make my way back to Chicago tomorrow, and then I'm going home to Los Angeles on Wednesday. So I've had a great time. Unfortunately, I was supposed to get to New York, but I wasn't able to do so. But when I come back for my nephew, who some of you guys seen earlier, his graduation in May, I will be then going to New York. So with all that said, though, we have an excellent show today, and I'm just so excited because our guests today, they have a terrific show that they do on Blab called the 42%, and they do a lot of wonderful things. We're going to let them talk about it. So without any further ado, let's start off. Of course, ladies first. We have the wonderful Steph Ghostin. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Yes, yes. So give us a little insight into yourself before we introduce your co-host.
Sure. So I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I live in D.C. at the moment, but I'm moving to North Carolina. So I'll be close to you, Kiana. I'll be in Raleigh.
We'll be talking to you.
Yes, we will. I am a life coach. I have my own coaching company called Cultivated Sense. I'm also a matchmaker, as you spoke about, with the Paul Brunson matchmaking agency over here with this wonderful guy, Brooklyn. So matchmaker and life coach. And also I'm a lawyer. So by day, 9 to 5, I'm a lawyer.
All right. And our next guest, his name is Brooklyn Taylor. You missed it a little bit ago. The 5-year-old. We had a 5-year-old female named Brooklyn as well, and she said hi to everybody. So there's a lot of Brooklyns in the house. So tell us about yourself as well.
Hey, I'm Brooklyn Taylor. I live in Maryland. I'm a matchmaker and dating coach with the Paul Keck Brunson agency. Worked with Steph over there. Worked with Paul C. Brunson and G and the fam. I have a blab. When I'm not on the Tuesday blab with Steph, about 42%, I have a blab called the Agree to Disagree show on Wednesdays at 8 p.m., where we talk about dating, relationships, and love. And, we're here. We're all about it. And that's what we do.
All right. So today's topic is Black male and female relationships. And one thing I wanted to talk about with these two fine people is the way that Black males and females deal with each other in 2016. That's going to be the primary topic in which we're going to talk about, both romantically as well as just having a kinship with each other, because I feel like it's a very important topic to talk about. But before we get into that specifically, I want to give a little bit more background on you guys. And I want people to understand, because it does tie in together, your show 42%. Now, I want you guys to explain what the 42% is, and what if they listen to the show every week, what they can expect.
Sure, I'll go ahead. The 42% refers to the 42% of Black women who are unmarried. So every Tuesday, we ask two questions. One, why are 42% of Black women unmarried? And two, what, if anything, can or should be done about it? Each week, we explore a topic, a solution, an answer that we've heard, and we go in depth about it. So, we talk about Black women dating outside their race, interracial struggles, religion, the church, how that holds us back or helps us. Last week, we did Sister Girl Circles, which was amazing. We had a really good discussion. So we have people come, share their experiences, share their insights, and we try to have a transformative dialogue about this topic, because we've seen that the media, larger society, has a lot to say, but not a lot to do about it. So we're trying to put these things into action. We give people different perspectives, and then we also give them homework. So we welcome you to the show. I hope you see yourself in one of the topics come and bring your experiences and come chat with us.
All right. So, what would you say was one of the best topics or one that you enjoyed the most so far?
We've had some good ones. We've had some good ones.
Yeah, we have.
Can I tell you? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
One topic that I thought was really good that I was there because I love you guys' show was the one about taking the man's last name. I have very strong feelings, and so did Brooklyn about that subject, and so did Steph. Unfortunately, Steph, as well as Jordan, who was on that in the chat room, had some the other way on that issue. But I thought that was a really good one. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was interesting because people really struggle with it, and it can sneak up on you, especially if you feel one way and you love this person and you're like, well, of course she's going to change her name when we get married. Of course, she loves me. We're getting married, and the whole thing, the whole marriage process is a change. And then she may be thinking, well, I worked this hard to be the best lawyer, doctor, candlestick maker, school teacher. They know me I'm a school teacher, and they know me as Miss Tate. I'm not going to change my name to Mrs. Rodriguez, and it may come as a surprise to a man who imagined, his wife being Mrs. Rodriguez and his kids being, little Tony and Tina Rodriguez. So these things people do make some assumptions, but relationships are full of assumptions. The assumption is we're going to be together forever. The assumption is we are going to be faithful to each other. The assumption is we are going to, we're going to agree with certain things. So because it's 2016 and things are and should be more equal, there are just some things, some things that to a person may vary. A guy may feel, you can make 4 times as much money as me, but you're going to be Mrs. Taylor, or you know what, you have your dream job, like my career, I could do anywhere. Your career, your dream job, you want to be a news anchor, and the only job that opened up for it is in Tucson, Arizona. I'm willing to move to Tucson, Arizona, but you're going to be Mrs. Taylor. So, I mean, it's just one of those things that people do have strong feelings about. And the thing of, we can all be, Steph and I know this, blab hug to Steph. We can all be dogmatic in our own ways, and we can say to ourselves, well, this makes perfect sense to me in my world. And when you're in a relationship and you have love, there has to be some give and take, and you have to work on it.
I think on our show we pretty much do a good job of respecting other people's opinions. So as long as you come respectfully, even if it's strong, we'll respect what you say. So for me, one of the best labs we had was the religion one. And I think that was, so we planned it for 1 week and it went 2 weeks, because I think religion permeates like a bunch of different areas, like your morals, how you choose to have or not have sex, your worldview. We talked a lot about worldview. So I thought religion was a very lively discussion. We had a lot of different perspectives. And so that was one that was multidimensional. Each week is supposed to be a topic, but some of the topics bleed into the other ones. So that was one that was just too big for 1 week.
Okay. Now, one thing that's great about you guys' show is the chemistry that you two have, as well as Joy, who's not here with us. So just talk about how you guys met, and talk about the chemistry that you guys have for each other when it comes to doing your program.
When did we first meet, Brooklyn? Was it at in Baltimore?
Baltimore. No. We probably met at a Paul C. Brunson agency event in DC at the park.
You were at the park? Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yes. I remember. Woo! Okay. So I don't know if this is. I mean, I think this is common. People know this. Brooklyn used to be part of our database. He was an active single who was dating some of our clients.
Thank God.
So we met at the park. So we had a speed dating. What was it? A flow dating event with Paul. And DC was one of the only cities where the numbers were even. Like, you go to speed dating and it's all women usually. In DC, there are actually more men than women. And
Wow.
some of the men sat out. So we try to make it 50-50. And so I think our chemistry is good because we balance each other out. He likes to crack jokes about me being young. I like to crack jokes about him talking about cars and being a Marine and going on and on and on. So I think it's a good rapport where we respect each other, but we have different opinions. And then we also play different roles in the agency. So Brooklyn has there's some clients that really want a male perspective. And they say, I want a male perspective. So Brooklyn is able to give them that. He also does some mock dates, which is really, really helpful for our clients. And I'm more of the online dating, they give me the tough people. They give me the impossible, not impossible, I won't say that. I get some of the tough cases.
Phil Jackson.
So I have a little bit of a different approach, which is great. So I think it works. And it works, our agency has all different kind of personalities. So us working together, it just feels really natural.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with that. Steph and I I called it on a blab a couple nights ago. I called it a sibling rivalry. We have this thing that I think it helps. It pushes everything along. It's not it is not, we're not going to 100% agree with each other for the sake of agreeing, but we get all aspects of the topic in all angles because of our different perspectives. And what we really want for our clients, we want them to find love, and we want them we want to hold a mirror up to them. All of our coaches, besides Paul Carrick Brunson himself, everyone else is female. And what's pretty amazing is that all of our ladies, they can be they have the woman's perspective, and they're like, look, you need to do this. So and I am too, but as a man, I try to be more gentle about the way that I approach things, because you don't want, just like when you're dating, right? You want someone to feel comfortable, and you never want someone to feel judged. So we're always careful about that. But you need to know what you need to know. Yeah. If you are, you're like our friend Jordan, we're not going to let you wear your bonnet on your first date. We're not going to let you. We're gonna try to get your style together. We're gonna try to get your the way you carry yourself and the things that you do and say, because everyone's not good at dating, but everyone is not naturally good at the things that some of us take for granted. Some people are with their high school sweetheart. Some people were married for a long time or in a relationship long term. and they just don't realize what it's like to date in 2016, because in a lot of ways things have changed, but in many ways things have not changed, and you want to be your best self, which a lot of our clients and a lot of people in general, people can do that in their career, right? And they're really good at being successful at what they do for a living. But socially, in the romantic space, there can be a disconnect between what's best and what they're doing, because it doesn't come naturally for everyone.
All right. Well, can you go a little bit in depth about what it is like dating right now in 2016? Because and explain a little bit, what do you mean by it hasn't changed, but it has? So can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. I think personally that in this dating space, in modern times, things seem to have changed, but they haven't changed that much. In that people have all this access to each other through Facebook and Instagram, and people feel like they have access to everyone, but so many people are more lonely because your actual human interaction can be a lot less. You think you've seen someone, you haven't seen anyone recently, you just saw them on Facebook. You might not have seen them in 5 years physically, right? So I personally feel like we have to keep those things up with our closest friends. You need to go see your friends sometimes. Your friends need to come see you. You need to keep your friendships up in that way. And the same thing with modern dating. You want to get off of the texting. You meet someone, you text each other in order to figure out when you're going to meet each other again, because you might be busy in a meeting and can't talk to them, but you want to use the phone calls, you want to use the in-person meetups to really see who this person is and your compatibility with them. I mean, that the thing I don't understand in modern times is people getting catfished. No one was getting catfished in the 90s, and early 2000s, because you would meet the person. I'm not going to be in a year-long relationship with someone.
Jesus.
I don't get it. It happens
a lot.
Apparently.
Now, Steph, we have a question from the chat room, and it comes from Lewis. He wants to know. He wants you to explain the difference between dating and courting someone.
Okay. In my experience, a lot of people court with a specific intent. Like, courting is, I'm going straight to marriage. Some people, like, when people come to our agency, they come in different phases. Some are like, I want to dip my toe in the dating pool. That means I want to date multiple people and find out what I like, what I don't like. Am I, ready to date? They're kind of in flux, but they're not necessarily, they're ready to get married, but not very soon. Courting is very intentional dating. It usually lasts short periods of time because your intention is to get married very soon. So some of the things that you do while you're dating, they might get accelerated, like meeting the parents, talking explicitly about marriage, looking at rings and stuff like that. I see it a lot in the religious context. So, I think you should date with a purpose. I think that's really important. But as far as dating versus courting, I think it's the intention that is the difference.
Okay. Now, you guys are based in the DC area, right? Currently? Yes. Okay, so I want to ask this question. DC is also known as Chocolate City as well. So there's a lot of black male and female singles. And I can only imagine a lot of them come through your service. So what are some of the challenges that both black male and female singles seem to be having finding dates in this day and age? Either one of you take
The problem that a lot of our clients have, that they are most are black folks, and they want to date someone black. They also want to date someone who is professional, not necessarily their profession, but they want a single professional that is vetted. So they want to. They may be famous or semi-famous. They may be very busy. They do not have a lot of. They either find it awkward or do not have the skill set that they feel they need to meet people. And we encourage them to reach out and try to meet people on their own, because it's more about, we're not a vending machine for marriage, you know. Uh, but what we do try to instill in them is the way to be open and more aware. For instance, I tell clients, hey, you know, if you are in Target and you're buying a card for your friend's baby shower, and there's a cute guy in Target next to you in that row, what do? And they're like, oh, nothing. I notice he's cute and I do nothing. And we're like, well, maybe you should say hello. You know, yes, there's, again, the old school way of, well, he should say something to me. Well, how open are you to that? You know, did you look his way at all? Did you smile? Did you notice and then turn around really quickly? So you have to be responsible, just like you are in your career. You have to be responsible for your own romantic life. So the challenge is, people feel like they can't meet anybody or they don't meet anybody. But you have to. There's strategy and tactics even in that. You know, when you go to a wedding and there are other singles there, are you introducing yourself to people? When you see someone that looks compelling, are you trying to pursue it at least a little bit? Do people know among your friends and family that you are single, or that you are looking, or that you're interested in love? Because some people don't know and don't tell anybody. They make it a big secret, or they pretend that everything is okay. No, if you don't want to be alone, you have to do something about it yourself.
Mm. Mm-hmm. I agree. I think the strategy is missing. For our men and women, the skill set is missing too. Brooklyn likes to talk about women having game. Just the simple act of flirting and interacting and communication, we find a lot of our clients aren't as well versed in that, right? So they can talk all day in the boardroom, they can give a presentation, but when it's time to actually speak and carry on a conversation, they have some issues. I'd also say what's unique to DC, and this happens in some other places, it's a numbers game. So a lot of our women are frustrated that here, there's a lot of educated, professional Black women. So they feel that the Black men have their choice, right? For every one Black male, there's I don't know how many. And so I hear and see a lot of this, and a lot of women complain like, oh, well, I wouldn't do this, or he was upset about me about this, and so he kind of just dumped me. So we work with people on figuring out what they really, really want, like down to your core values, down to what you need, not what you want, not what will be nice. 6'2" would be nice, but as we know, right, Brooklyn, 3.9% of the U.S. population is 6'2" and above. You most likely will not be part of that 3.9%. So we work on that. We work on having a strategy that makes sense for your lifestyle. And you do have to make time for dating. You can't just throw it in here and there like, oh, I'll kind of half-ass it. You won't get a half-ass result. So we work with our clients on that.
There's a term that I hear quite often, is someone dating down so that they can have a mate. What do you think about that idea of dating someone down so that you won't be alone? Or do you see that often coming through?
I think it's kind of a misleading term, because I think what happens is we list the superficial stuff that matters, but not the actual things that we care about. So when someone says dating down, does that mean they make less money than you? Does that mean they are not in your given profession? I don't really know what that means. What I care about is, what is his value system? What is yours? Do those match? Your non-negotiables. Is he a smoker and you don't smoke, or is he atheist and you're Christian? That's what matters. So when someone says dating down, I kind of like, I don't really know where to go with that. I need to know more information.
Yeah, you know, to me, just hearing that is just like, it kind of makes me recoil, because if you have ever met someone who is truly in love and has found the right mate, then there is no down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can be in our society here in America, we can be pretty superficial, right? People, we can be pretty superficial because a guy can make $100 million and marry his pretty secretary and not be accused of, you know, dating down because he's pretty, right? But to me, it's really about the love. If you find someone compatible with you, if you find someone that you can enjoy life with and plan with, then there is no down in that perspective. And if you're looking at it as dating down, then there's almost you're almost weaving in some failure there, because you're not going to appreciate the man or woman that you have, because the inference is that you're doing them a favor by being with them, or you're settling, because the settling is huge too. Like you never want to settle, especially, you know, the people that we deal with who have never settled. You know, they went to Harvard, they went to Cornell, they're the top of their class, they're the top of their career, you know, they're traveling the world. And so they need that other, they want that other aspect, the aspect of having love and a great relationship. And there are things you need to do to get there. And as long as that person makes you happy, then to my eye, you couldn't look at it as a downgrade.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell us this is for both of you, if you could share with us a success story, because I know a lot of people hear the negative and what happened, and, you know, he did this and she did that. But can you really share with us one success story that really stands out in your mind?
Yeah, I'll go. I actually have two. I'll give a male and a female. And they both show how our clients come with different backgrounds. So a male, we have a male who came in who, because of the area of the country he was in, it was hard for him to date the kind of women that he wanted to date. So we set out on a search for him. So when you're a client, like, we scour the earth for what you want. We have recruiters, we organically source, we have a database. And we presented him with the young woman. They Skype. So most times people meet in person, but they weren't able to meet in person. They Skyped once. I think they mutually met. They met each other in a mutually convenient city, and they started dating. And like 6 to 8 months later, they were engaged. And he invited us to the engagement and also invited us to his wedding. So that was like he was looking for something very specific, and we were able to find it. That was his goal.
So you guys got people like Redbox where you can just
give me that one, give me that. Yeah, so we were able to find.
Bring them back in 24 hours.
And then the female story, again, some people come looking for a husband, looking for marriage, looking for whatever. She wanted to learn how to date better. And so I personally worked with her she wanted to do online dating, had never done it, was scared, was like, somebody's going to steal my information. I don't like computers, like that kind of stuff. And I just saw her over the course of the 6 weeks that we worked together become more and more open. And at the end, she had a bunch of prospects. She didn't have one person she was dating exclusively, but she was like, I know, Stephanie, I know how to date now. I know how to spot the weirdo. And she had this thing that she called, well, I called it resting bitch face.
Yes.
Like, she didn't know she was doing it. She didn't know she was doing it. She's like, whatever. And then there was something else she didn't realize. She sent me like 4 pictures, and they were all from this side of her face. I'm like, what's on the left side of your face? I need to know what's on the left side. She's like, I never knew. She had like a really faint scar, and she just never noticed that she always turned this way. So just having clients have those insights is huge. And she's like, Stephanie, that was so helpful. Like, I just didn't know. So those are my 2 success stories.
So are you saying that maybe some of the things that may turn you off of people, they may just not know that they're doing it? So maybe that's what it could be. Maybe don't just give up on somebody because they have a little quirk or whatever.
Yeah, it's about being open, because she honestly had no idea. When I tell you she sent me 4 exactly same photos, I'm like, what's going on over there? And then she said, I said, well, what? Take a picture. Show me like how you normally rest your face. I said, you look mean. She's like, I was like, you look really mean. She's like, and after she started smiling, she was more open to love and looking. And people started approaching her. And she was attracting the kind of person that she wanted to talk to. Not the creeps that are like, oh, girl, smile more. You need to smile. And she's like, that made it worse. She went deeper into resting bitch after that. So, yeah.
Yeah, the unfortunate part about, jump on that for a minute. The unfortunate part about, we used to call it, growing up in New York City, we call it like the subway face. The girl is on the train and she has just got the ice grill on, because if you don't, like, even if you're smiling like Kiana is right now, guys are going to talk to you at every stop, right? Just because you're like, literally just because you're a happy person. So it was always the ice grill. But, and I think that this is an advantage for guys like me, because if you can talk to the girl with the ice grill, lesson 1 is like, never ask her why she's not smiling. That's stupid. Who walks around smiling all the damn time?
I do.
But that's, it's like devoid of any outside influence, anything going on.
Yeah.
So, you would, like, because I know a lot of guys to this day, and I'm talking grown men, 30, 40, 50, 60, who are literally afraid to talk to women. And you don't, so the guy, like Stephanie said, the guy, the A-girl guy, the holla, 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 holla guy, he's not always going to be the best guy, but he's always going to say something. So the way for people to meet is for people of both the man and the woman to be open to meeting each other. So the photos is an issue with a lot of our clients, because when you're not confident, some people hate, a lot of people of all walks of life just hate photos, right? And there's a disconnect, because you have the Instagram folks who take photos every 15 seconds, and then you have some of our clients who are like, I don't like photos. You're like, send us a photo. Like, this photo has to be from 5 years ago. You need recent photos. You need, you're putting together a profile and you want people to look at you. We've met you. We know you're cool. We know you're funny. We know you're great. But when you're presenting people, you're presenting someone's profile, like you said, they're going to look and they're like, well, why are all 4 pictures from the right side of her face? Why isn't she smiling? Why aren't there good photos? So you have to kind of push yourself, and we have to push you outside of your comfort zone because that's where that's always where true success lies, doesn't it? When you're like, you know what, like I said earlier, like as an example, you know, I'm in DC, but what I really want in life is somewhere else. I need to be open to meeting someone from somewhere else. I need to be open to moving to California if that's where my career brings me. And I need to be open to seeing what I'm doing that is stopping me from finding the love that I want to find.
You know, one thing that I definitely want to talk about is, and this is a very big issue, especially myself, I'm 39 years old, and you run into a lot of women who have children, right? And although I don't have children myself, there is a certain protocols and stuff that you kind of make up for yourself when it comes to dating someone with a child. But let's start from the other side. People who have children who are now in the dating scene. What are some things that you can suggest to them, as far as male or female, about things that you should look for when it comes to dating and that stuff when you have children?
Yeah, I think it's an extra precaution because it's not just you who might get hurt or he might go off on or she might get crazy on. It's your family, it's your child. And so we always encourage our clients to be safe. That if they're online dating, they're getting a Google number. If they're going on a meetup, it's at a public place. This is not like, meet your child on the second date, So we try to walk them through how to judge and decipher character, how to judge and decipher value. So you recognize, is this someone that you want to meet your child and be in your life for a very long time? And on the other side, again, it's something that is so surface, but we have to go a little deeper. When we hear people say, I don't want to date somebody who has kids, sometimes what they really mean is, I don't want to date someone that has baby mama or baby daddy drama. Like, right. That's really what they mean. So we say, okay, well, let's go with that. We're looking for people to have strong, good relationships, not only with their children, but then with the father or mother of their children. And that's important. Like, we're too old to be like cussing them out and having a lot of the people that we match and our clients take care of their families and have co-parent relationships that are really healthy. So we just encourage them to take extra precaution and also be safe.
And it's probably not going to have you get close to a woman you're dating's child if you knock out the kid's father. So you may want to be careful getting into altercations with somebody's baby daddy, or because it'd be kind of weird. You beat up my daddy, but you're dating my mama, so
you shouldn't have been talking.
So you might want to avoid situations that.
Oh God!
But
yeah, well, interestingly enough, most of our clients don't have any children.
Oh, okay.
So,
really? Wow.
Yeah, most of our clients don't have.
Or they have adult, or if they're older, they have adult grown children that are out of the house.
Yes, our clients that are at a higher level as far as age usually, might have someone might be divorced after 20 or 30 years, but our average client doesn't have any children. She went to school, she started her career, and she was a career woman, and she concentrated on the career stuff. And she didn't have maybe as many relationships as other people her age. And she also, made whatever choices led to her being, both single and without children. When they get to us. So, but the kid thing is still important in the aspects of the guy that they're dating or that they're looking at dating may have a child or two. I'm just looking at some of the comments.
I know.
I'm like, who is this? Like, it's turned up.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Wow. I want to take a moment to let everybody know that you're listening to the Black Empowerment 365 show with your host, Kente, right here, and also my lovely co host, Kiana Rodriguez. And that we have our wonderful guest, Steph Ghostin, as well as Brooklyn Taylor from the 42% TV show, Blab show, I should say. My bad. My bad. I want to do a quick chat room shout out so I can give everybody some love. Let's see. We have in our chat room, we have Leon. What's up, Leon? We have Amira. How you doing, Amira? We have Drew. We have Miriam. We have Danny Redwine. We have Teresa. We have Lewis. We have Jordan J, who's going to be a guest, I believe, in 2 weeks. We have He Tweeting. I love that Twitter handle. That's a great Twitter handle. I want to steal it. We have, of course, Sharon Powell, and we have Xanadu as well. So that is for all the people that are listening. Thank you so much. And we will definitely, if you have any questions, we will work them into the show. So also, too, I want to, so we talked about dating. If you are someone with children and you're dating, I want to also talk about the person who doesn't have children, but is dating someone with a child, because like myself, if you never had a child, you may not quite understand what a parent goes through, especially if you're a man dating a woman who has children, or vice versa. So I want you to kind of, speak to the maybe some of those people out there who's in a relationship or potentially getting in a relationship with someone with a child.
Yeah. I think it's another consideration. So we tell our clients, because they don't have children, they don't recognize the obligations and the schedule. And
absolutely.
So we have to remind them they have other things to do. Just like you go to your job from this time to this time and you hold that time sacred, there are times when they need to pick up and drop off, and a weekend and sports. And so you have to learn to play your role, right? You want to get to know them romantically, but they also still have a life, just like you do. And so a lot of times our clients are upset, like, she's not paying enough attention to me, or he's not paying enough attention. And we have to remind them that they have other stuff to do, just like our clients should. They should be dating other people. They should have a life outside of work and outside of that one person. So it's mostly just reminding them that even though your obligations are different, your priorities are different, they're still valid. Like, one's not better or worse than the other. They're just different.
No, a lot of single parents, they often struggle with the right time to introduce their kid to the person they're dating. And then also, too, as a person who has no children, when you meet the kids, too, at what point? Do you have any advice there?
You want to go, Brooklyn, or you want me to go?
Yeah, I got it. There's timing, right? You don't want to, and actually, the men in my family and the guys who might be divorced, or the guys that might be single dads, I find the men that I know should be very good at this. You don't want your kids meeting a whole bunch of people, even if you're dating a bunch of people before you get serious. I say a bunch of people. I mean, we do believe at the agency that you should date. You should have experience dating. You should date different people until you find out what you like, and then you can whittle it down, right? For men and women, you have to know what you want and be able to recognize that, know what you can live with, and then keep finding the kind of person that best reflects you and your style and your morals and values. So when you do figure out what you want and what you need in a relationship, then when you know the person well, then you can let the person meet your kids. Or then, you can meet that person's kids. I know personally, when I was younger, I dated a few women with kids. I hadn't dated a woman with kids in a while. But to me, it was important the time that person spent with their children or child, and the importance. Because I don't have any kids. If you are ignoring your kid, to travel to see me, or ignoring your kid to come to my house every night, then I don't think that, no, even if your mom is watching them, or you got a great babysitter, I don't think that you are having a proper balance. And if anything happened and we had children yet we didn't work out, there's no way that I could expect anything different than what you're doing now. So to me, that always was and is key. So it is your responsibility to say, you know what, I'm very serious about this person. We've been dating for a while. It is time for them to meet my kids. And I don't think that should happen soon. And, and no one should force you to meet your children. Like, you can't meet my kids because we're not that serious yet. But if and when we are, then you can. And that can probably be a difficult conversation, but it shouldn't be, because those kids are very important. It's important also if you're with someone and you love someone, obviously they're going to be important. And later on, you're going to combine to make a family. But at the outset, of course, there should be time to properly introduce the kids.
Yeah, I also think it depends on the age of your children. And then what we stress, and I would highly recommend, is that you are very clear about the role that this person plays in your life, not only for you, but also for your children. Because we have some people that are looking for their partner to be something to their child, whether it be a father or a mother figure, which I think is not right. And then on the other side, talking to your child about, this doesn't change anything about your father or mother. This is having a conversation with them about what role this person plays in your life. So I think that's most important, to make sure you know why you're even doing it in the first place.
Well, one of the questions I would love for both of you guys to answer, some of the biggest issues I personally see is people compromising. Okay. And, where they might have their what do you call it? The things that they
list,
their list that they know that they're not going to deal with, but they compromise on those. Can you speak a little bit about that, and why do you think people are compromising a little bit more? Some of those things, the no deal ones. What do you call it? I can't believe. Yes, Dealbreakers. Thank you. The deal. People, yes. They'll compromise on their deal breakers.
We always talk to our clients when we do our workshops and when we coach individually. We talk to our clients about your preference list and your deal breaker list. Preference list. Every 5-foot client we've ever had wanted a guy that was 6'4". That's a preference. It's also it's almost a luck of the draw thing. Like Steph spoke about, only 3.9% of American men are 6'2" or taller. So, which is a statistic that blew my mind. I'm like, I'm 6'4". I just presumed that half of Americans were 6'4", but apparently we're not, right? So, you have to let that go. You're 5 feet tall. I think a guy that's 5'6" would do you plenty. That's not even to say of the 5'11" women that get pissed when you're walking around with a 6'4" guy. So those are preferences. Your deal breakers are, what? My dad died of cancer. I cannot date a smoker, and I'm not going to date a smoker. For that reason or whatever reason, even if the smoke just bothers you, right? So it's almost as if you cannot have a successful relationship with true deal breakers. Again, I've seen women warm up. Oh, I'm not having kids because when I get married, I'm not having a guy with kids because when I get married, I want us both to experience a child for the first time. Well, you might have to. So, but I believe that things change. Your life circumstances can come up and things can change. Um, I've known women that said that, but then you meet a fantastic guy who has a kid. He divorced, he had a kid, things didn't work out, but he's still a great guy. So you may rob yourself, if you consider that a deal breaker, you may rob yourself. We talk about, Stephanie can back me up on this, like your deal breakers, something like the smoking thing, your deal breakers are things that might compromise your health, might put you in a situation where you have to bury your spouse early, you know, almost dangerous, right? If the guy's a serial killer, then you might not want to date him. That's a deal breaker.
But he's
right?
6'4" though.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that improves. I'm sure that improves the serial killer.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that's the difference between deal breakers and preferences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I was just going to make it a little more clear. This is what we say. A deal breaker, a non-negotiable, is something that affects your physical, mental, or spiritual well-being, like has a potential to affect. If it will not alter your lifestyle, it is not a deal breaker. So I saw Maddox saying your ex chasing you, you're not over it. We would still categorize that as a preference. That's still a preference. So when you say settle, I think what we're seeing is people coming off that list, coming off the 6'4", make a certain amount of money, went to college. But we are getting to the heart of the matter, the values. Is he ambitious? Okay, does he want to move from just a job to a career? We know that education is not the end all be all, right? People can be educated in different ways. They don't have to go to college these days. So is he educated in some way? Can you guys have a conversation? Does he know about news? So we try to get, it looks like settling from the outside, but sometimes I think people are realizing that their list is so superficial and then they need to go a little bit deeper. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think you should lower your standards if they're actually standards. But a lot of times 6'4" is just not a standard. It's just not realistic. So
Right. And Miriam wants to know, what about a 5'10" woman without heels who seems to intimidate men as soon as she walks in the room? It's a personal question.
Brooklyn's gonna love it. I'm gonna give it to Brooklyn because this intimidation, thirsty, and sister girl circle are probably like our biggest three topics. So I'm gonna let Brooklyn.
Birdman hair rub. Look here, always mattering.
Oh boy, this is classic Brooklyn.
We have to examine. You have to examine yourself when it comes to the intimidating factor, right? A lot of women, not just black women, but a lot of women feel like, well, I'm intimidating. You're not intimidating the man. When this guy is the man, the guy is an alpha male, the guy loves women, wants to meet you, wants to see what you're about, you're never going to intimidate that guy. You're never going to intimidate someone with the positive frame who knows who he is and is interested in finding out who you are. To me, when it comes to men being men, if you don't get it, then you don't get it. If you are afraid of her, then you shall never have her. You will die alone. So, Steph likes when I say that. So I think that you need to. It's twofold, right? Maybe you can make yourself more open to the guys you're interested in, right? maybe you have the subway face. Maybe you are doing something like 5'10" alone. There are plenty of my twin sisters like 5'11" and a half, right? There are plenty of tall women who find success in love. You know, you put on those Louboutins and you're 6'2", but guess what? There's still a guy who is going to be brave enough to say, you know what? She's tall. Like, your height alone is not the intimidation is overused by women, first of all, in our experience. And because there's something else, right? There's something else. Some of the, I don't know if you guys watch House of Cards. Claire Underwood is married. Like, some of the most powerful, Hillary Clinton is married. Like, some of the most powerful, seemingly intimidating women are in relationships. So if it's about more than being tall, because Stephanie can intimidate a guy. If you're powerful,
I'm 4'11".
you're smart, you're witty. What's that?
I was telling the viewers I'm 4'11". Like, they might not know.
You might not know that tidbit.
You're 4'11"?
But yeah, Stephanie is 4'11".
Are you standing up right now, Stephanie?
I'm actually
Can't say.
But yeah, let me scroll down on the messages and see if she's saying something. I don't use the subway face anymore. Good.
She's
no, you didn't mishear. You didn't mishear. Steph is actually 4'11", and and she can control a room.
All right.
And so what you need to do is see, well, what am I doing? Because also we like to know, how do you know you're intimidating? There are the people who say they're intimidating, and then there are other people who have been told, like, hey, guys tell me that I'm intimidating. Well, he's not the right guy. If he's intimidated, like, a guy should be able to look and say, wow, she's powerful. Like, to me, there are filters, right? If I'm with a woman, I like to know. I.A. Lewis says he ain't a man. I don't want to strip the man's manhood, but he needs to work on that. Yeah, right. He's not her man. Thank you.
He needs a testicle transplant.
I didn't say
Jesus.
They look at me and the look she gives, say, I can't handle that. See, that's not enough always mattering.
Her interpretation, she said.
Right. You need to see exactly. Not you're going to interview every guy who's afraid to talk to you, but you need to kind of ask some male friends or some relatives, or once in a while approach a guy and talk to him, and I'm sure he's going to say, you seemed intimidating before you spoke to him, or maybe you seemed mean, or you seemed antisocial, because you're not, as Stephanie said, your man is not going to be intimidating. But you also need to not put things on yourself, right? If you put things on yourself, you kind of restrict yourself from love and dating. When you're saying, well, you know what, I'm 5'10", and guys think I'm intimidating you. We have a beautiful client. This woman is gorgeous. She's got to be all of 6'4". So, that difference is, puts her on a planet that, most 99% of women on the planet cannot grasp, because every guy is looking up to her. If she's not at an NBA game, every guy is looking up to her. And that, like, a 6'4" without shoes. So
I would also say, always matter, that part of it is on you. Part of it is, who cares? Part of it is, you work the room. You're not worried about you are what you are, which is beautiful, tall, with your heels. That is a fact. You walk in and that's what you do. Not like, how is he receiving me? I don't care about the looks, bless you.
Thank you.
Looks, because they don't concern you, right? So they have nothing to do with you. And I think people who even see those looks, they don't internalize them. They don't say, oh, well, I must be intimidating. So they sometimes think the opposite. They'll say something funny or witty and be like, "Oh, I see you looking. Okay." You know, they work it. They work it instead of thinking the worst of that reaction. That person might just have the subway face. Like that might be their "Oh my God, she's so beautiful" face.
Oh boy.
You don't know them. You don't know who they are. She said, "At this point, I don't give a F, but I'm turned off by those who give it a look and don't give them a chance." So what would happen if you actually gave them a chance? What would happen?
Yeah, I'm confused by that. Always mattering. It sounds like you're like, oh, these guys are intimidated by me. But if he's intimidated by you, yet this, if he's approaching you, he's not that intimidated. You know,
Right.
like it's kind of binary. Like intimidation usually leads to the guy not walking over there. He's not swinging. Like Maddox Maxim says, in a social setting, I'd rather be rejected just so I can set my sights on another lady. Smarts, though. Well, I mean, you have to get to...
I would say just be open. I would say
where-
be open.
Yes. Be open. Step up like Gangstar. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm old school enough to respect that. Here's the thing for the men out there. Men. You're here, as with the other 7 billion people on the planet, you're here because at some point, some man stood on a hill with a spear or a gun or a sword to defend your right to be here, to bring on his legacy, right? So you can't be afraid to talk to that woman over there.
Right.
After, if you're here, our ancestors went through so much to get you to be here right now. And all you have to do is go talk to that pretty lady over there. In comparison to what they did, it's not that difficult. And if someone doesn't like you, A, she may like you later, or B, you will find someone else. So, it doesn't come easy for everyone. I've had the butterflies in my stomach before, but you go and you give it a shot.
Brooklyn had butterflies? Uh-oh. All right, let's do this. Okay, so let's talk about the date. All right. So you go to Steph or Brooklyn for the consultation, and you guys set them up with somebody, right? We'll start off for a fella, right? So now he's going to go on a date with the young lady. So give some advice on dating, because like you said, not everybody's good at dating. Some people suck at it. They rather not date. They wish some might want to jump to the next part of the movie. So give some advice on the actual date.
Why you block her?
Oh.
No, I'm so sorry about that. I was trying to follow her.
Oh man!
I accidentally blocked her. How do we unblock someone?
Let me see.
I guess you don't. Tell her I'm sorry about that. If she
Can you click on her?
Can't watch the show? Huh?
Can you click on her and?
Oh, she's a host now.
Let's see if that made it. X.
Yeah, hopefully let's see if she's back. She can comment.
Got blocked.
Dun dun dun.
Wait a second. It wasn't because you are intimidating.
Don't assume.
Oh Jesus.
I can start on oh, she might not be back. I can start on answering the question. So what do we tell clients? So I think it's kind of the pre stuff, the during and the after. So we talk to them about presentation, what to wear, what not to wear, how to show up, how to communicate. So how we set up our first meetups, they don't exchange contact information. We actually set everything up. So we're like, if you're going to be late, let us know. We'll let her know. If you can't find a parking spot, let us know.
Wow.
Be polite. So yeah, we don't exchange numbers till after the first meetup, and they decide, yes, I like this person, and then we'll exchange the contact information. We talk a lot about mindset going in, right? This is a meetup to gauge chemistry and connection. This is not, you don't have to get married by 7. This is not, there's no pressure on you or her. Be open and be genuine, be yourself. And then we kind of talk sometimes, depending on the client, about topics to avoid and topics to talk, right? Like our clients come to us with all walks of life, just like everybody. Talking about, your profession the whole time, religion, the stuff that you need to stay away from, politics, or about how, your ex did you so wrong. Maybe right?
Yeah, you need to shut up about that.
Or how your ex
Please
so
do.
right and you missed him.
Right. Just zip it.
Oh my
Zip
God,
it.
man, that's a
Zip it.
that's the way to fall into the trap door on a date.
Zip it.
Horrible.
And we also talk to them about having a conversation. It's not an interview. It should be a back and forth. So it shouldn't be question after question after question after question. Offer information. Pause. Let them speak as well. And then we're also sometimes talking about body language, how to read body language, and see if this person's interested in you. See if you're interested in them. Is there some chemistry there? And we always give feedback after both. So we give feedback from the date and also our client. If they both want to be connected, then we will exchange numbers and they can go off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Wow. So, oh wait, I think this is Miriam.
Welcome, one true love. Oh, is Miriam always mattering?
Yes.
Is she back?
Yeah. No. She just messaged me on Facebook. She was laughing so hard.
What happened? What
She said she's laughing so hard.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what the real world equivalent to trying to follow somebody and blocking them is. Trying to get their number and hitting them with your car, I guess.
That Ferrari with a dent, huh?
Right. So, where were we?
Oh, we're talking about the actual date. Things to avoid, things to do. It's often talked about that a movie is like one of the worst places to take a woman on a date.
Absolutely the worst. Team event says blab slap. I heard that. That's a good one. I got to remember that. Well, we spoke about actually on Wednesday, the episode 10 of the Agree to Disagree show. Our topic was epic dates, and there are components to an epic date. Obviously the two people are going to have fun together, but it needs to be in a place where you can hear the other person. It needs to, like most great things in life, it can, once in a blue moon, it can be just like the movies, but it usually takes some work, especially on the guy's part. You're the man, you should pick a good place for the first date. Not the over the top, not necessarily the over the top restaurant or things of that nature. Pick a good place, somewhere you could walk around, somewhere you could get to know each other, maybe somewhere with some good scenery, somewhere where the woman won't be cold, or if she is, you've got your jacket there, somewhere that would facilitate you getting to know each other and seeing if you want to see each other again. So the first date should be kept light. And should be kept light with potential, because you can go on an incredible first date. My friend Mo was on the other blab and he was talking about how many, how long. Once in a while you'll experience for yourself, and people will tell you about a date that lasted really long. The first date could be an hour at a coffee shop or something, or grabbing a bite. Or it could be like hours and hours. You ended up strolling through the city. You ended up telling each other stories from childhood and all of this stuff. It just depends on the depends on the two people having the date.
Now I have a two-part question to this. To basically, hey Fitzgerald. All right. At what point do you introduce them to your family? And then at what point also should you be nervous if they're not introducing you to their friends and family as well?
I think that's a good question. I think it depends. Like, I think some people, it depends how much you date them. If you're seeing them, if you're spending a lot of time with them, 6 months might be a really good starting point. If you've only seen them, if you see them once a month, 1 year might be a good idea. I think you have to know them reasonably well. And I tell my clients and even the clients at PCB, you want to know what they're like in every season of the year. They can be rude when it gets cold. I want to know what you wear in the summer. I want to know how you deal with the heat. And so for me, a year is, you should know if this is somebody who you want to be with long term after at least a year. And if that's somebody who you want to be with, I think that after a year, if you're comfortable then and you feel like you know them well enough, that's a good time to introduce them to your parents.
Okay.
That sounds way too long to me.
Okay, so you've been dating this girl, Brooklyn, every day. Y'all going out and all of this stuff. And let's say 6 months or whatever. And then she's like, I want to meet your family. But you don't necessarily feel like you want to at this point. You don't feel like you're ready. So how do you attack that?
Well, as an adult, nothing should happen to you before you're ready for it. And if I don't want you to meet any of my family, then we're not in a serious relationship. And if we're not in a serious relationship, you'll know that because I'd be upfront about that. So what I'm saying to you is that that's not a challenge, because as adults, we need to be forthcoming with exactly where we are with regard to who we're dealing with. If we're dealing with each other, then we need to at all times know where we are with each other. You wouldn't have to ask to meet my family if I was ready for you to meet my family. Now my family is in New York City and Florida and Jamaica and things of that nature, and my twin is overseas. So if you basically, if it's like that, then you're coming overseas with me to meet my twin. You are coming to New York to meet my sister, my brother, and my mom. All three of them live up there. So, you won't have to ask. If somebody is with you, if somebody loves you, somebody is even early, even before love, right? Somebody likes you a lot, then if you like each other a lot, then you can bring them to the 4th of July barbecue at your family's house, and they can bring you to theirs. There is a larger issue if somebody's like, well, we've been dating, Steph's talking about 6 months, 8 months, a year. We've been dating a year, and I haven't met anyone in your family, then, you're not who you say you are, and you're a serial killer. Like, there's no way I'm dating a woman for a year, and unless she's an orphan with no siblings, there's no way it's going to take
your side piece. That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, I disagree, because I think that the question can be asked too early, right? I agree with what you're saying, is that as an adult, stuff doesn't happen to you unless you're ready. But sometimes good meaning people that you could be in a good, healthy relationship with, they ask too early. 6 weeks, probably too early. 3 months, probably too early. And I think at that point, even if you are who you are, Brooklyn, upfront, honest, which that doesn't always happen in reality, not you, but in other relationships.
I feel like everybody keeps acting like I'm not a real person.
Well, the thing is, for me, I would do this.
I'm not catfishing y'all. I'm an actual human.
But that doesn't always translate to reality for some people. Like, this is a real thing. I think that people that probably should be together, that have healthy or potential for healthy relationships, one party, male or female, asks too early, and I think that's a real thing, and that's a communication thing. It's a conversation.
But you're talking about a year, Stephanie. It could never be a year. If I haven't met your family,
that's for you. So that's for you.
serious.
For a year, that works for you. You have good judgment, and you're a great guy, and you would never wait a year. Some people need to wait a year.
So, Steph, are you saying
Who are these people?
Are you saying you're one of those? Are you one of those people that make people wait years?
No, I like I said, when you feel comfortable, when you feel like you know them, when you feel like you know them in every season. So for me, St. Louis only had 2 seasons, okay? It's cold, or hot.
Woo! Jesus.
But then here's the thing. We also dated long distance. So we weren't seeing each other every day like these couples that spending every hour together, talking on the phone all the time. We both were busy. I was in school. He was working. We're 300, 400 miles away. So it was a little bit different. But yeah, he met my family the next fall.
Real quick, Internal Sunshine or Lauren wanted to know, we kind of went over this earlier, but what about meeting your child? How long is too long? Can you just give a quick something for her real quick on your thoughts on that?
What about meeting a child?
Yeah, we kind of went over that a little bit earlier, but if you wanted to quickly.
Yeah, I said, in Brooklyn, you can feel free to disagree with me. I said that.
What is this?
Well, this is my version of this for you.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Child. Okay, yeah. What is it? So it's extra precaution. Make sure that you're safe. You have another consideration, right? It's not just this person ruining your life or being crazy towards your family. So understanding that you have another obligation is really important. With that being said, defining your role or defining the reason you want that person in your life. Are you looking for a father or a mother figure for your child? Probably not a good idea. And explaining to your child, this doesn't change anything about your biological father or mother. This is the role this person plays in my life. So, and I think it also varies by age. If you have older children versus younger children. So we just said, take precautions and take your time and wait.
Kiana?
Wow, this has been very, very interesting. I mean, some of the comments that has been going on, but man, I'll be honest, I'm kind of stuck on this intimidation. I'm stuck on intimidation. Woo! I know. I'm stuck on that because with that 42%. All right. For me, the question that comes to my mind is, what is really causing that 42% to be just like it is? And maybe even what is, do you know the percentage for men?
It's about the same.
I think what needs to happen is that, we need to get together. Black love is still a thing and will always be. And we need to find the person that that fits best with us. And that takes some experimentation. That takes some stepping out of your comfort zone. That takes some actual dating. And that takes some reevaluating of all these lists and all the things that we want versus what we say we want. I think many people have had the experience of dating someone extremely attractive that finding out eventually that was their only real attribute. And that's never, it's just never enough. If you think that it's enough for someone to be attractive, then you haven't dated enough, or you haven't had that experience. You need to find someone that's right for you, and that can be challenging. But like we tell our clients, Idris Elba is not going to knock on your door while you're sitting on your couch eating Funyuns and watching Netflix. You must leave your home. You must, you must be social. you know. And Stephanie likes to point out, and I agree. Hold on. Somebody write this date and time down.
Gosh.
Where I agree with Stephanie is that you cannot be at the bar or at brunch all the time with 14 girlfriends and expect a man to A, pick you out, and B, not be intimidated by that group and come to talk to you. Some guys will. I would. But again, as Stephanie points out to me,
we speak.
Huh?
You're not a real human.
I'm not a real human. As Stephanie always points out to me, my experience is vastly different. And dealing with Stephanie kind of makes me feel like my mentality is that of a child. When it comes to dating, it's like, oh, I'm a child in a candy store. Of course, true story. My nephew Josh, right? Little kid. He's 4 years old. We're at National Harbor. My family came down from New York. This is my sister's son. So there's a little coffee shop, like store downstairs at the resort, and we go in there. I buy everybody coffee or whatever they want. I buy him a bag of chips because he wanted the bag of chips. Okay, we go outside. There's some benches. We're all sitting there. It's Christmas time, so they've got like fountains and they've got stuff going on for the kids. And I look up, and he's walking back into the store, and I'm like, okay. I go follow him into the store, and he walks out the store with another bag of chips. And I'm like, oh, hey, you can't just have you're not at my house. You can't just have another bag of chips. That's, come back here with me. We will buy you a bag of chips, right? Because that's how this works. But in some ways, even as an adult, I feel that way. I'm like, hey, there are other people in this room, and I can talk to anyone in here I want to. I can say hello. There's nothing wrong with me saying, hi, I'm Brooklyn, but a lot of people don't feel that freedom. To me, meeting another person is like picking up a bag of chips. There doesn't have to be some big deal about, me seeing Kiana and saying, hello, how are you? I'm Brooklyn. You can say, hey, I'm Kiana, and this is my husband, Bob, or whatever the case may be, but we shouldn't be afraid to talk to each other as human beings.
Mm-hmm. So the 42%.
Yes.
Part of it is, I agree with Brooklyn. We have to change. We need to talk to each other. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain and past experiences that we are taking out on each other. He did me wrong. She did me wrong. This happened. This happened. So talking to each other, having this dialogue, being open and honest, but also challenging each other. Like, we have to hold each other accountable. Women and women, women and men, men and men. We have to. So I think that's the number one thing. And your question was like, what is it? There's no one thing. It's not interracial dating. It's not the church. It's not one thing. Multifaceted. But I think the number one thing is even how we talk about it, right? Like, even how it, well, I might as well just give up, or, well, I might as well settle. Like, the words that we use, how we treat each other, how we treat each other when one of us does get a man or a girl, right? Like, how does it work? So that's what the 42% show is about. How can we relate to each other on a different level? And people come with their pain, like, this happened to me. This was so hurtful. Somebody said this to me or did this to me. Or because of this, I don't date this. Now I don't date this kind of women. I don't date blue collar. These are real things that real conclusions that people come to that are blocking them from dating. So we're trying to unravel some of that, change the way we talk about it, and then move forward with different solutions. One of them is communication. One of them is being open. Another one of them is just, accepting the challenge, because some of it starts with you. I think that's one thing like nobody wants to talk about. You don't want to victim blame. It's not the 42% fault. It's not their fault. But they have a role to play in moving forward, right? Even if it's just forgiveness, the forgiveness takes a step for you.
All right, I have a question specifically to Steph, and I'm gonna ask something to Brooklyn after you answer this. Okay, in your mind, what is a gentleman, and do you think women today really appreciate a gentleman? Really, for real?
You're not gonna like what I have to say about this. Whew.
Welcome to my world.
Okay.
I think that men should treat women as human beings. That means that when somebody is struggling with the door, you open it, not because they're necessarily a woman. Like, men open the door for other men, right? Because they should. If I'm struggling with some groceries, help me. If a guy is struggling with some groceries, help them. This thing about gentlemen is so superficial. You'll date someone who's terrible for you, but they open up your car door. That makes no sense whatsoever.
A gentleman wouldn't be terrible for you, Steph. That's what makes no sense.
No,
no.
I disagree. I disagree.
What you're saying.
Let me finish.
He treats me right.
Let me finish. Opening a car door is not treating somebody right. It's an external thing. Being a true gentleman, I think, is a bunch of stuff, right? But the outside things don't matter. Those do not matter. Those don't matter. So those don't matter. So I think that someone can be can be rotten at the core, but because they know that you want your door open, they'll do it. They'll buy you the shoes. They'll do whatever. Those are external things. Treating you right is not paying for stuff. Like, that's just it.
It's interesting perspective.
This is just like saying I want somebody who's Christian. So I say I want somebody who's Christian. Is that really what you want? Somebody who has a relationship with God that you can see? Because somebody will go to church and pick you up and treat you like crap because they know that's what you're looking for.
But I'm not asking what a fake gentleman is. What is a real gentleman, though?
Yeah, get in.
No. To me, being a gentleman is treating somebody with respect, respecting their values, and showing them yours. I don't think there's one type of gentleman. A gentleman is respectful, period. If that means that he opens up your doors and the external stuff, cool. But if that means he supports your goals, he encourages you, he prioritizes the things that you care about, he puts you above his friends sometimes, and then understands that you have a certain role in his life and he plays a role in your life. Those are all kinds of things that are internal stuff that don't have to do with external. I think the word gentleman just comes with this thing that is all the external stuff, and I just do not. I really dislike that.
You're not talking about a gentleman. Whatever is causing you to have this cognitive dissonance with the gentleman that Kente and I are talking about, that's the problem. And that may be a problem. Maybe we've discovered something tonight, because that may be a problem writ large. See what I'm saying? A gentleman is a gentleman. A gentleman is an internal thing. You could fake anything. To a con artist fakes stuff, right? A con artist pretends to be the CEO of a company that he wants you to invest in. A con artist pretends to be a nice guy to get you to his house so he can chop you up and put you in his freezer, right? But we're not talking about gentlemen, because like I said, I have never in my 4 decades met a woman who told me that this guy simultaneously opened the door for her during their 4-year relationship, but then punched her in the face when she got in the car.
Are you serious?
Is not open.
Wait, are you serious?
You know what I'm saying? Like, a gentleman is a gentleman through and through. Not pretending to be a gentleman around your mom and beating you when she's not there.
Yeah, he ain't a gentleman.
That guy is not a gentleman. Like, a gentleman is not external at all.
If it's not, then why do you have to call it? What is that? Why do you need the word? Tell me what it actually is. Tell me what the
Mobetta says it right there. A gentleman is a chivalrous, courteous, and honorable man. So if you're not chivalrous, courteous,
then you're not this
you're not
word.
A gentleman. A gentleman is not a guy who opens the door. Opening the door for you does not make you a gentleman.
Right.
Doing the things that are chivalrous, courteous, and honorable make you a gentleman. And I'm going to defend that. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be like, oh, you're right. Because you're wrong. You're wrong in this case. I love you.
You disagree, and that's fine. I don't care.
Well, there is a definition. The reason why we have these gigantic dictionaries, right? The reason why we spend all this time in school, because definitions matter. Just like I'm a 6'4", 250-pound black guy, but I'm not a criminal. You see what I'm saying? But if you give that description to some people in America, they're like 6'4", 250. Oh yeah, that sounds like a black. Oh, it sounds like a thug to me. You see what I'm saying? There's a disconnect there. So no matter who has given men, black men or men in general, a bad reputation, a gentleman is what it is, and there's a definition for that, and you're either going by that, courteous, honorable, you're either going by that definition or you're not.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is things that you can get on their show every week. They come with that fire. Now, we have a mind reader in the chat room because, remember, I had a question for Brooklyn. And the question is, what is a lady? And do you think men of today appreciate a lady?
Tell us what a lady is. Tell us what a lady is.
I think I don't have the dictionary definition. Maybe
no, Brooklyn. No, we want the Brooklyn dictionary. We want the Brooklyn.
I think.
Open it up.
No, we want the Brooklyn definition, not Web.
Oh. For me, a lady is a woman who carries herself with respect. A woman who is, I think it's similar. She's honorable. She's courteous. She knows what she wants. She respects herself and respects other people. Because I think respect is such a large part of it. And I will not date a woman that's not a lady. Period.
Ava says many women. Sorry, something pops up on my screen to block it. Many women don't know what a lady is anymore. That's interesting. Do you think men of today appreciate a good lady, though, based on what you see, in your work and such?
Mobetta says, lady, a woman uses polite or old-fashioned form of reference. That's it? Just a woman? That's it. I think when someone is ladylike, it's more than just being female, because if you're in DC or Baltimore, you'll see plenty females in cargo shorts and polo shirts and with waves and fades, trying to look like guys, and they're I don't think they're carrying themselves in a ladylike way, but I mean they're also trying to be dudes, so maybe they're trying to be gentlemen.
Well, wait. If a lady is someone who, if a lady is someone who's respectful, chivalrous, and what else did you say? Something. Then why wouldn't someone who's wearing a polo and shorts, if they're respectful, chivalrous, and honorable, be a lady?
Maybe you're not paying attention. The women I'm talking about don't want to be a lady.
No, but I'm talking about your definition. Your definition of a lady is these three things. So if
I'm talking
a person
about
who is
lesbian stuff.
I understand, but this is the problem that I have with these terms.
That's not a. You're talking
about feminine. You're talking about feminine.
In 2016, right? You can be male or female, but your attributes are not necessarily male or female. That's why we have the whole LGBT community.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying. What I'm saying is, this is the problem I have with the word, with the definition. If your definition
of a lot of things.
Yeah, you're right. If your definition of lady
Maxim says Amber Rose is not a lady by these definitions. Okay.
So internal sun. This will help a lot. This will help a lot. Internal sun says feminine must be in the definition of lady. That would you say that that's true, Brooklyn?
You know what? Let's keep in mind that Stephanie is a lawyer.
No, I'm just asking a question.
I just find this dynamic very interesting.
When you,
Me too. I love it. I love it.
Here's the thing.
The other funny thing is,
anytime somebody says to me, my antenna go up. Anytime somebody says to me, "Would you agree?" Right? Because the lawyer in her, she's an actual lawyer. When someone says, "Would you agree?" When a woman says, "Would you agree?" Kente, your woman is like, "Would you agree that
I'm like, oh, here we
man
go.
who doesn't take out the trash and leaves it for his woman to take out isn't a man? Would you agree?"
When they start with that,
So
yeah.
I already see this. I already see.
and you're supposed to say yes. You know you are. But no. Okay, I shouldn't have phrased the question that way. I'll take it back. The internal. I think internal son brought up a good point.
Hold on. Wait, no. Excuse me. I have to address something. The Empress says, Brooklyn, you seem stung. What woman fucked him?
Hold on.
Hold on. No.
See?
Exactly opposite the Empress. No woman stung me.
But
As Stephanie will attest to you, the stories I tell are about how I've always been treated like a king by every woman I was with.
And
I
Brooklyn.
love women. I love the experiences I've had. I'm not stung at all. And I'm in defense of gentlemen, right? I'm in defense of ladies. You see what I'm saying? And if you don't want to be a lady, I don't have a problem with it. But there is a definition for gentlemen, right? And I think those guys deserve respect. Everyone deserves respect.
Or Brooklyn.
And there is a definition for lady. And if you're not a gentleman or a lady, you still have a place on the planet. But there are definitions for those things, and to ignore them because it's 2016, I think is a part of our larger issue.
But Brooklyn, I just want to point out something. Because somebody said something similar about me earlier, and you didn't say anything. Nobody said anything. He said, "Oh, Steph, what do hurt her? You know, she speak as a hater, blah, blah, blah." So
what happened? Somebody called you a hater?
Let me go up. I think it was Mike. Something.
Steph, we disagree, but I hope you know that in the streets when we see each other,
Mike J. too.
Or on these
He said I had
blasts,
hang-ups.
if
He said I
anybody
had
ever
hang-ups.
tried to disagree with you, I would take it to them myself.
Oh, no. I'm not saying. I'm just saying maybe it's
What
something.
did they say about you?
He did say I had hang-ups and something else.
Who said you had hang-ups?
Mike J. True or whatever. That's what I was saying. I would say you probably shouldn't address it. Like, that's just it.
If I saw that, I would have said something.
It's fine. Okay, so back to the definition. Okay, lady. I won't. Okay, Mo Better says I'm asking a leading question. That is true. Let me rephrase the question. In your opinion, is being feminine part of being a lady?
No. Okay. I prefer my women feminine, but
okay.
You can be a lady and I presume you can be a lady and not.
Wait a minute, you can't be. Wait a minute, you can be a masculine lady.
But that's what you hear. Everybody.
What people forget.
Go ahead.
People forget is that everyone has masculine and feminine traits. You know, I consider myself a masculine man, and because of that, there's always the yin and the yang. Even when we're talking about the lesbian or gay community, there's always the yin and the yang. Somebody's going to be more masculine, somebody's going to be more feminine. You know, if you are masculine in your traits, then there are masculine traits that are not necessarily, you're not necessarily going to cut your hair and wear cargo pants if you're masculine, but you might. You know, so I presume, I don't know any myself, but I presume that it's not impossible for you to actually be a lady and have more masculine traits.
Okay.
One of the biggest things that I hear, even though there is an actual definition in the dictionary, everybody has their own definition. You see what I'm saying? Brooklyn, you have your own definition of what a lady is and a gentleman. And Steph, you have your own. And it seems like everybody in the chat, they all have their own definition of their perspective of what they feel is a lady, or their expectation even of what a gentleman really is in their eyes and how they feel, or what a lady is. Because if you think about it, going from person to person, a lady, like you were saying, for me, for example, I feel like I'm a lady, but I keep a basketball in the trunk of my car just in case I get challenged. That's what I'm saying. I will put my tennis shoes on and we will go.
That's
okay?
True. That is true.
But I still feel like I'm a lady. Okay? So it's a personal definition. So that's why I said I love this dynamic, because hearing the different perspectives is so interesting. And moving away from the actual text definition and hearing what people feel is just it's very cool.
And that's
but I really wanted specifically Steph and Brooklyn's idea of what a lady and a gentleman was. So it didn't have to be the Webster's Dictionary. I really wanted from their perspective, because you guys are the experts that we're having on the show, and I really am interested in the way that you see these topics. So I think it's very, very big. So it ain't the people in the chat rooms definition we're looking at. We're looking at our two experts here, and I appreciate that too. That she said, "Well, damn." I appreciate that too, because I like the way that you guys see the world, and I knew it was going to be a good one. I knew it was going to be good.
He's not gonna like what I have to say about this.
I love it. I love it. And you guys have such a wonderful dynamic with each other, and I love it when you guys can get this every week on their show. And I want to take a moment. We do have a segment on the show that we call This Day in History. Sorry, I have all my my stuff was up. This Day in History, and this day in history for April 1, we're going to go to 1984. And anyone who knows me personally knows that my favorite male vocalist is Marvin Gaye. And in April 1 of 1984, Marvin Gaye dies in his parents' home in Los Angeles, my hometown. Marvin attacked his father for verbally abusing his mother. His father responded by shooting his son to death. Since his death, the power and reach of Marvin's music has increased very much so. So I'm a huge fan of Marvin Gaye. And being in Motown currently, had a chance to see where he actually recorded some of his wonderful music. So that was our This Day in History for April 1. And happy April Fool's Day as well. This show has been amazing. I love you guys so much. And as you guys know, I come into your show all the time, and I resist my urge sometimes to hop in there because you guys have such great topics. And as you know, I hop in there and I get very passionate about these things. So, I'm very passionate about these topics as well. So I want to first start off with Steph. How can people get you in social media and such?
So I am Cultivated Sense, like cultivated and then sense, like common sense, SENSE, at Twitter. So at Cultivated Sense, Facebook.com/Cultivated Sense, CultivatedSense.com. And if you want the agency services, we have everything on the PCB agency website. So it's PCBagency.com. And definitely come on the 42% show. If you subscribe or if you follow me, then every Tuesday you'll get the notification that the show is going up. It's Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern. We go for about 2 hours, sometimes a little bit over, and we have engaging conversations about this and other things, all things 42%. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys.
And also, too, we've learned a lot, too, about you, Steph, that you're a lawyer. Some may not have known that you're 4'11", too, which is, I didn't know that as well. But also, too, we have Brooklyn, who's 6'4", so that's a interesting thing going on there. But Brooklyn, tell us how we can get you in social media.
We can't argue in the streets. People think something's going on.
We often do, but that's the problem.
What's that?
I'm just kidding.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said we often do, but that's okay.
We often do, she said.
Huh?
She said we often argue in the street.
Oh, yeah. You can reach me at on Twitter at BrooklynPCB. You can reach me at the PCB agency at pcbagency.com, like she said. And you can check out my blab on Wednesday nights. When I'm not on Tuesday nights from 8 to 10 is the 42%. And the aptly named Agree to Disagree show is on Wednesday nights from 8 to 9. It always goes over because we're always disagreeing. But you can reach me at either one of those.
All right. And you, Kiana, please tell us how we can get you in social media, as well as tell us about Happy Work Week and all the wonderful things that you do as well.
Awesome. Well, across the board, you can find me Happy Work Week, Twitter, Facebook, happyworkweek.com. is simply to spread happiness in the workplace and really helping people alter their work week perspective and lead a positive and healthy life. So that's pretty much what Happy Work Week is all about. So you can check me out. See me on Facebook, Twitter. I'm mostly on Twitter, though. I love Twitter a lot more. All right. And Kente, how can we find you?
Yes, you can get me at Kente F, and as well as you can get me at indyradio.org, indyradio.org, and I will be returning back to Los Angeles next week. So we'll be at our regular time at Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. We have a great show for next week as well. Do you want to tell them real quick?
Oh, absolutely. I am so excited about next week. We're going to have Cordelia, and we're going to actually speak about how to make our delicacies healthier. So if you guys are watching tonight, and if you guys want to send me a message either on Twitter at Happy Work Week and tell me some of your delicacies that you enjoy eating, right? And because she asked me if whatever you like to eat, and we can send that to her, and then she's going to come on the show and help us make it healthier. And I'm very excited about that. Really looking at some of the different recipes, some of the different things that we can do, some of the things that we could cook with. I'm very excited about it. And she's very, I mean, when you see her and understand how old she is and how young she looks, you're going to be like, wow, I need some of that fountain of youth. I'm just saying.
I hope she can discover a way to make some healthy mozzarella sticks.
Oh, mozzarella sticks.
That would literally change the world.
I'm going to put it on the list, okay? Just for you, Brooklyn.
And I want to also to inform people too. We have a bunch of shows. We're booked all the way to May 6th, I believe.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. Yes, great. And we have in our chat room. We're going to have Jordan Hales. She's going to be on the 15th, and she's going to talk about her book, "Your Brand Is Boring," as well as she's a stand-up comedian. We're going to talk about her comedy, and she has a wonderful show that's every day on Blab at 12 noon every day Eastern and 9 a.m. Pacific time, my time. And it's called the Lunchtime Comedy Chats, in which she breaks down comedians and lets you know how they do their thing. And as well as they do games and such. And also, too, Ava Laura is in the chat room, and her and Fitzgerald is going to come on the show on the 22nd, I believe. Yeah, the 22nd. And they're going to talk about their show, Boot to Boom, as well as they're going to tell us about entrepreneurship. And also, too, in case you don't know, that Ava Laura has these wonderful head wraps that are available. I actually purchased one myself for my mother, and she loves it a lot. And so if you love her head wrap, she looks amazing as always. She's always very, very looking nice. If you want to be just like Ava, just go to her website. That's crownedbyavalora.com, and you can be just like Ava as well. And we have a lot of great shows coming up, and we're very, very excited about it. And also, I saw Dr. Vibe was in Dr. Vibe is in the chat room. He's on all the time. He has a wonderful program as well. Definitely check him out. And let's see, am I leaving anybody else? I want to give everybody a shout out before we leave.
Leon is amazing.
Brother Leon, who was our first guest. Everybody knows how much I respect that brother. He's a wonderful person, entrepreneur, and just a good human being. And check him out as well. And this community is amazing, and
Yes, it is.
I'm so glad that we're a part of it. And hopefully I can add to it as well. We have one question before we go out. Stephanie, what are you doing with all of the 42% shows? Is there an end goal?
Well, I'm glad that you asked, Jordan. The 42% shows are archived on my website, and I'll drop the link. I'm actually writing a book about the 42%. So I will be answering your question fully, Kiana, about what we can do about it. So that's the second part of the 42% lab. What, if anything, should or can be done about it? So the book is forthcoming. Stay tuned. I'm going to drop the link now. Thank you, Jordan, for reminding me.
And one last thing, I guess we didn't get to, but I'm smacking myself. If you're a single person and you need to hook up with, I don't want to say hook up because that sounds bad.
Hook up.
If you're looking for a mate, Brooklyn as well as Steph, how can they get in contact with your dating service?
Okay, we dropped the link. So it's pcbagency.com. Mm-hmm. And then you can just email any of us. So it's Stephanie at paulcbrunson.com or Brooklyn at paulcbrunson.com. You can drop us an email
I didn't even ask you this, Steph. How did you get involved with in matchmaking?
How did I get involved? When I first started my coaching business, I was going to the trainings, conferences, all that stuff, and I didn't see a lot of Black life coaches. So I was really looking for a Black life coach, and I reached out to Paul and a few other people, and Paul poured his heart out to me. I had a conversation with him. He told me what to do, what not to do, and I was like, "This is great. So do you need any help from me?" He's like, "Yeah, I need you to do this, 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 and this." So everybody on the team starts as an intern. So I started as an intern, and then he hired me on a couple months later. But it was really just him reaching out. I reached out. He actually answered. We actually connected, and he gave me a lot of great advice. And then I just said, "Do you need help with anything?"
Mm-hmm.
In Brooklyn, if I remember correctly, you were a client first, right?
No, well, we have clients. Those are the people that pay for the service and are interested in have matches made to them. And we have people in our database that we call members. And actually, my twin sister referred me to the agency because I was single, and she wanted to connect me with the agency. And I went on a couple of dates with the agency, and they were incredible. And actually, Paul gave me a call, and he's like, "Hey, I know you're a member with us, and my staff has been." I'm trying to find a way for it not to sound the way it sounds, but he's like, the staff has been interested in connecting you with our clients, and there's something that you're doing that's different than what the other guys are doing on their dates. I feel like you have something special, and I feel like you could offer insight to both we're mostly female clients, both our female clients and some of the males in our database who don't have the dating skills that you seem to have. So we got together and we spoke about it a few times, and he asked me to come on with the agency, and I ended up being a dating coach and a matchmaker, and the guy at the agency who does mock dates with a lot of the clients to see where they are initially and the ways that they can improve. So it just kind of happened organically. It's something I've always been interested in the social sciences. I'm a technical guy. I do aerospace, as my day job, and I always have since a teenager. So it's just an interesting thing. It's interesting the way it came about, and I've learned a whole lot, and we've been able to help a lot of people. So I'm happy about it.
Do you work as a hotline? If you're on the date, you can call Brooklyn or Steph, be like, she's ordering the mozzarella sticks. What do I do?
No, we try to give all the coaching up front, and then and then send you off into the wild.
Oh, okay.
And you report to us afterwards.
Oh, okay. So no on the date help.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. You're on your own on the date, as you should be.
We also have in the past done like girls' night out, where a small group of women go out. You have your coach in the background, 1 or 2 or 3 women, and just us observing how you interact with men and on the dance floor and in a bar lounge setting. So we've done stuff like that, but never real time. No, that's too creepy.
I need that.
I know, Jordan. I'm with you.
That's
I'm with
funny.
you.
That's funny.
Yes.
That's funny. Well, Jordan, stop with your Subway face, and you'll be fine. And leave the bonnet at home on your dates too.
Oh boy!
All right. Well,
great advice, Kente.
Well, thank you, everybody, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Thank you for having